Back on. Okay. I had some mistakes here. Let me take this off. When I was talking about this switch, the switch actually exit is this way. So that's hooked right into a, let me see. Well, there's those two little diodes, transistors that act as Zener diodes, I guess. Here's the switch sliding horizontally. I'm thinking up, and I was thinking up, and when I was looking at this switch, I was thinking that one, and that one, which I was wrong. So this is totally a different, the incorrect connection. So this is X set center tap of the switch, and the section that goes has the 0.1 capacitor from there to there, and then from there it goes to the vertical board. But what I got going on, I have that shape coming on. Get it on here. That's just my lead sitting foolishly. So I'm using the yellow. Maybe I'm not. No, the yellow's hooked up to this thing. I don't know why it's so jibber-jabbering, because I do have a true ground. I use red so I can see them better. I know it's wrong. They should be black. But, okay, I'm gonna put this up a couple and remove it from this. No, that was, no. That can stay there. That's going to the front of this. That's going into this input. Here's my yellow. So that was just stray voltage. I thought it was crappy from my, there it is. You can see it. I better put it up a couple. Well, there. This, I have this on X1 because some of the stuff I want to test will not come through on the X10. So I will hook back up to here, which is that tab. Now that's the emitter side from the vertical board. So I'm going to turn this on. I have this yellow wire. Where is it? I have this yellow wire disconnected and this blue one, which is to disconnect my horizontal driver board. So I got the yellow one, which is M, and the negative 9 volts, which is J, M and N, or M and, how do I say? But my high voltage, my 180 volt is still hooked up. And when I said where I have my scope channel 2 hooked up to it, my scope is hooked up here, which is scoops back to that emitter to get the pulsation. But I have a feeling, I think my vertical board is working, I think. But I have something with this stuff here. I never really paid attention to this stuff because when I'm syncing, it comes in here, and this looks like the Eddie Van Halen 12AX7 stacks in his amplifiers. It reminded, as soon as I seen that stack, I thought, oh, that's the Eddie Van Halen thing to get his brown tone. But anyways, pulsation comes in, scoots in to the pulsator gate. And I thought I was switching to this or looking at this and sensing the 6 volts. Wrong. I was wrong. So, but this, when I hook up to this test point, I get virtually nothing. Just a real weak, blurry thing. So I am assuming something in the stack isn't amplifying. So I probably, this is the sweep circuit board too, and that's the board I just had off in my hands for 2 days. So I'm probably going to have to take that, which is this board. So I'm probably going to have to take that off and check this transistor stack here. They're all transistors, so I'm assuming I can test them. That I can't test. I'm lucky if I pull these off. I wanted to check that power transistor too, wherever that was. No, that was the blanking. That 4.7K that went up to like 16,000 ohms, or between 16 and it could have been 16.5. It's like 16,000 ohms it increased to, but it didn't look burnt or nothing, so I don't know if there's a issue if it wiped that transistor out and I forgot to take it out and test it. But this test point is blurry on there. That's why I have this on X1. So I do have M and J disconnected, and that's there's actually a reason for that at this time. So I'm going to turn this thing on. I'm going to drop these so I can. Yeah, let me shut my light off here. So I get this here, okay? And I can do my focus. Here's my focus. Let me get her focused. Brightness is all, I backed it off a little bit. There's full brightness. I back it off some. That's focus, or I mean intensity all the way down. Okay, so I'll just leave it there. I don't want to keep it on long periods, but now what I'm going to do is take this blue wire, which is the negative 9 volt power supply, to that sweep board. So you'll see what happens. That's what happens. There's reflection in here, my flashlight. Maybe I'll move my flashlight. Okay, fall, that's fine. Okay, now I'm going to hook up the 9 volt positive voltage. Wish I could block the sunlight here. I have curtains closed, but that ain't helping. Okay, here's 9 volt positive. So I get this. Let me see if I can keep that on there. I did last night. So now I get this. I can't seem to stabilize it. I don't think. Now this is gain, horizontal gain. So I could take it from that. So obviously my horizontal positioning should be turned to the right. Oh, I can turn that. Okay, that's new to me. I didn't know that last night. So horizontal positioning worked. I'm going to purposely leave this out of focus so it don't burn my CRT. So I'll turn up my horizontal gain. Okay, I'll push it off that way. I'll pull it back. Okay, if I pull it back, then it's doing that. Okay, maybe I better sharpen it a little with focus. So frequency, this is all the way to the right. All the way counterclockwise, pretty slow sweep. If I could get a little quicker sweep, let me go up a scale. Yeah, I'm thinking I had external sync on, but I still don't think it'll stabilize. Now this is without has the horizontal. Oh, it's confusing. But anyways, that's what I'm getting. Now I'll hook up the negative power supply. I have the positive 9 volts to the board. Now I'm going to hook, oops, it just come off. Okay, this is M, the yellow wire. That's a positive. Now I'm gonna try and hook up the negative. There's negative. As soon as I do negative power supply, it does that. Disappears. And I did do some adjusting on the vertical. It doesn't seem to do much on the vertical up and down bit positioning. So that's where I stand. So right now I have the vertical. I mean vertical. I have this power supply hooked up, which leads to these transistors. The driver transistors hook up with the 180 volt source for the collectors. Okay, that's the 180 volt source. This direction this way is 9 volts, and then we got the negative 9 volts, which hooks up to this 100 volts adjust, and maybe if I twist that, here's the balance, or no, the balance is right there. Maybe, no, you can see what I have here. So that's hooked up to the pretty nice shape, I guess. That's hooked up to the same old, the emitter of the here, followed back to here. Okay, hooked up to there, which looks pretty nice if that's what the shape it's supposed to be. Looks good to me. Whoops. Looks fine to me. So now if I go to this here other test point, test point's there. Now that's after that Eddie Van Halen stack. See, before I'm going to hook up to this one first. This is where I'm at right now, which I actually don't get nothing. Let me go back to this. Wait a minute. Am I right or wrong on what I'm doing here? I was just here on the top side of that point 1. So I'm going to hook up to this. Where's the test point? Oh, the test point is way down on this board. Okay. So if I'm here right now after that stack. So I have a feeling there's a bad stage there. So I just get this blur real bad. Cut this off, so it looks like it's really bleached in here. It's not. That's not really there. It's just the same blur. Looks like it's got a sine wave. Let me see. There's changing the horizontal. That one is the frequency, the fine, and this one here is the horizontal gain, which ain't too impressive. Vertical. I'll switch the vertical settings, see what it does. Okay, just moved away a sine wave signal from it. Whatever that is. What's my swirl? Oh, I'm actually hooked up to here. And that is sine wave. So I'll pull it off of this generator and see if the sine wave goes away. And it did. So it must be picking up a little sine wave from my generator, but it's not amplifying me properly. I'll hook up to my square wave side. Square wave side. So I mean and I'm way down here on 50 No, I'm on here because I don't have the X10 in. I'm down to 5 millivolts. So that's pretty small. Is that what it says? 5 millivolts there. So still looks like a sine wave, but it's hooked up to square wave, and the square wave does work. I can verify that pretty easy here, I think. Hook this up to it. And switch to this one. Oh, I think I'm way high. So yeah, then we got square wave there, and on the far end I should have sine wave and sine wave. So it's the generator's working good. So I don't have a problem there. So I think something's wrong. Okay, I got pulsation from there into there, but I don't know what I'm supposed to really get here. I'm assuming I'm supposed to get something better than a blur. If you take your synchronization into there, and what is this thing? Sync level, and it runs, travels around like that, I guess, to there. I would think going through all that 4 transistors should do something. So I have no idea what wave shape should look like, but I don't believe it should look like that at 5 millivolts. I don't think. Well, that's it where I'm at with this thing. I never measured those yet. It's on my to-do list. I might even measure those. I'm gonna have to remove this board again, I guess, and somehow to try to test all these transistors in there. Got 2 cans. And then you got your little overload ones down here that are, I guess, used for Zener diodes for overload protection. So I don't know what's going on with this thing. It's really a puzzle, especially when somebody like me is working on it that doesn't know nothing. The best I can come up with is a nice frequency there, wave shape, whatever. So that's my square wave from my generator. It's probably, let me go to X10 once on this. Well, it's probably needs to be tipped on the ends because of it's probably these that have to be adjusted to square it up. So it's probably not square because of that. So I'll put it on sine wave. So I'm going from square wave to sine wave here. So sine wave looks like that. Let me put another, oops, a few more in there. Let me go back to square wave here. There's square wave. Back to sine wave. So how come the tops are flat? Supposed to be? Or is it distortion? I don't know. Where am I hooked up? See, I'm hooked up to from my vertical board. If I go on to I gotta shut this off. On this phone, there's time limits. So this is Orange at Beginner's Corner, February 12th. Adios.